So, Coach, it's been about a month and a half since you played Texas. Do teams change much in that amount of time, or are they what they are?
No, they're playing about the same way. Uh, I think Shaka's got seemingly a lot more confidence in his bench. He's playing his bench, I think, more than he did at that point in time. But I think we all are.
Justin Jackson.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Obviously, the state of Texas is, under winter, whatever, just, going through some tough times down there. How close was this game to not being played?
Um, I think we were planning on playing it the whole time. There's a lot of issues. You got um, situations with the plane. Obviously, you got situations with the hotels. Um, you have in some cases. I think you have situations with the arenas. You know, I mean, they've got I think pretty much statewide issues with uh, power issues,
Right.
water, all kind of issues. So I think it's a situation where it's just kind of a wait and see situation.
And then obviously, I mean, you guys are going to spend basically a week in the state, obviously with TCU and Baylor coming up. Any concerns at all being in Texas for that period of time at this time?
Justin, there's a lot of concerns about a lot of things. I mean,
Sure.
you know, we're taking guys out of class for a week.
Right.
We then have a conference tournament, which they're out of class, and we then have an NCAA tournament, which they're out of class. Um, I think that's a concern. And certainly the weather is a concern. Um, Travel is a concern. There's a lot of concerns. Um, quite frankly, playing 3 games in 6 days and riding 3.5 hours on a bus between games is a concern.
This may end up being the road trip you never forget.
Yeah, it's a little bit reminiscent, I think, of us taking the bus to Buffalo because we couldn't fly in.
Yeah.
On the NCAA tournament.
Ethan Bach.
Coach, just thoughts on the 3-game road trip. Are you frustrated about it, or are you happy just to make up the Baylor game? Just what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I think I can't remember the last time we played 3 games in 6 days that wasn't a pre conference situation. We did that. Well, we did that in South Dakota this year, but the difference is the other teams were doing the same thing. We're being asked to play 3 in 6 days, and it's tough.
Coach, a question from Bob Herzl. This year, the three-point shot has become a bigger part of your offense than it was supposed to be or normally is, although you've never overlooked it. How over the years has your view of the three-point shot changed? You take about twice as many threes this year as you did in your first year at Cincinnati.
I think personnel dictates a lot of that mess. You try to you try to use your personnel and what you feel like is going to be their most successful chance of, or best chance of being successful. And, I think, again, JB's been terrific. There's another guy who can stretch the floor. Gives Derek more room to operate in the post. We can surround the line with guys who can make shots. So it's been a very integral part of what we do, but it's personnel dictated.
A follow-up to that, is the game a better, more action-oriented, more fun to watch game than when you got to Cincinnati?
It's all in the eyes of the beholder. What do you like to see? If you like to see defense, it's probably not your style of choice. If you like to see high scoring games, then it's you probably enjoy it.
Johnny and Tonic.
Coach, what did you do this week, and were you good at cramming for exams when you were in college? Because that's what you're going to be doing next week with those 3 games in that short stretch of time.
Was I good at it?
Yeah.
I was magna cum laude good, John.
So you crammed then. You didn't spread it out and study ahead of time, huh?
No, I was just extremely smart.
I got you. What did you do this week, and how are you going to get ready for all those games in such a short stretch of time?
We can't. I think you take them one at a time. I think playing in South Dakota probably will help us, because that's what you do there. You play the game and then you go back to the hotel and you watch film and you try to break things down and figure out what we can do to be successful, what we can do to try to help keep them from being as successful, and you go play the game.
Early in the week, before you get closer to Texas, can you maybe put in or work on some things that maybe you're going to see against Baylor or TCU or things like that? Or do you just fix the things that you didn't like from the Oklahoma game?
Baylor seems a long way away, John. They are a good ways down the road. We've got to play a very good Texas team, and we've got to turn around and play a team that Jamie's done a terrific job with. That probably is as hard a playing team as there is in our league, and that's certainly going to be a tough game and take a lot out of us, and then get in the bus and drive to Waco and play the number 2 ranked team in the country. It's not ideal.
You guys are the Globetrotters, place to place.
Yeah, if you could find a globe that was just Texas.
Yeah, athletes in action. There you go.
Yeah.
Charles Montgomery.
Coach, you talked about it last week with changing or at least improving Derek Culver's free throw shooting. Would you please possibly go into detail on what you do? Because you talked about your expertise level at the free throw line. Could you talk about something that you focus on, especially with Derek, and how to change his shot and improve it?
Alignment. We've worked a great deal on his alignment.
Kevin Kinder.
Coach, any preliminary discussions yet about the week between the end of the regular season and the Big 12 championship in terms of number of games you could play, or the league wants to play, and or which games might not be played?
Well, I think the wish and the expectation of the league is to play as many games as you can possibly play. I know you guys are smart enough to know that television plays a big part of this. So It's going to be to either a large or at least a good bit dictated by what television dictates. It's not in anybody's best interest to play 3 games in 6 days, guys. I mean, come on. Particularly, you're playing different styles. You're playing on their home court. It's a lot of things, but we're the only ones doing it. So, but it's not ideal getting back at 5 a.m. from Lubbock either. But we have to do that and move on. So we have a lot of things that other people don't have to endure.
Back to Greg.
So, Bob, are coaches asked their opinion when the league starts scheduling these makeup days, or are you just given marching orders and told go do this?
Well, you would think so, but not very much. No, very much after the fact. But it comes down to how do you get the games in? And if you think about it. Think about who would ever thought the weather in Texas would end up being what it is. And it complicates a lot of things. Complicates travel. We've really tried to back off on time, practice time, to a degree, the intensity of practice, because we're getting ready to go through something that I don't think anybody else in America is going to go through. Nobody else is going to play 3 games in 6 days and bus in between. That may happen early in the year when the smaller schools are trying to make their budget, but not this time of year. Not playing this caliber of people night in and night out.
Back to Justin.
Coach, not having the weekday game this week, how much has that helped Taz, just kind of, getting back on his feet, and, and where is Taz right now as far as, availability and health?
He was very good yesterday.
Okay. Is he back to where he was, you think, or?
He's shooting the ball pretty well.
Okay.
John.
Guys, I'm sitting here thinking, you'll remember this. So we got 3 games in 3 days. We get down big to Missouri in the championship game in the Disney deal in Orlando. And I'm like looking, we got 4 guys on offense. They got 5 on defense. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I turn and look, and Dexter Miles is sitting like Indian style on the other end of the court. So there's the timeout. And I said, what are you doing? And he said, Coach, listen, I don't like to play defense, so at least I ought to be rested when I try to. So yeah, have we done 3 in 3 days? Yeah, but it's hard, man. It's hard on those guys. And then we came back and they said, Coach, we're not going to practice for a couple of days, right? And I said, no, we don't need to practice for a couple of days. Get rested up.
Coach, along those lines, do you think people outside the league, maybe the committee, people that evaluate basketball, appreciate the unique circumstances that you guys go through each year?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The people who appreciate it, I bet you I've had far more than half of the coaches in the league say to me, now, you're never going to be able to win the league, right? With that schedule that you guys play, there is no way that you guys are going to be able to have enough, energy, be bouncy enough to to win this league, because it's a hard league. I mean, you look at the scores in the league, it's a hard league. We don't have off nights.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, I think that's it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone to call in.
Thanks, miss.